the second hour. It's the Info Warrior with Jason Bermas. Luke Rudkowski, the founder of We Are Change, the man to recently be put on the Southern Poverty Law Center's hit list, and we'll get into that and so much more, is going to be riding shotgun with us over the next hour as we also play his encounter with Stephen Colbert. If you missed it, it is grade A gold. How you doing today, Luke?
Hey, thanks for having me, Bermas. It's an honor being on your show. I just want to say amazing work with Invisible Empire. We just had a screening of your movie here in New York City last night, and it packed the house. And I'm so happy to be able to premiere your documentary here in New York City.
And I'm so happy for people to be able to have these screenings without my presence. We encourage you to get this out to your friends, your family members, your local community center, your local church, wherever you can hold a screening of this film. Please do so. And Luke just let me know about the screening yesterday. I think it's great. I remember, Luke, way back in the day, way before even We Are Change, before Loose Change Second Edition was available to the public, coming to meet you at, I believe it was St. Mary's Church, you and Dan Wallace was still around then, and talking to you for the first time and realizing, hey, this is a young man who gets it, he understands the bigger picture, and he's going to be a huge force in what would become the 9/11 Truth Movement.
Yeah, I think I was like 18 or 19 at the time. I'm 23. I'm getting old now. But that was like in, 2005? In December,
yes.
We held the first screening, and I was so happy that you guys came down. You guys didn't even meet me or know me really before, and you guys just came down, and we had a great screening. And, it started in St. Mark's Church with, just so many little people there, and now it just skyrocketed to all over the world. And this is where our strengths are shown, is the people all over the country who are holding these screenings, who are going out there confronting politicians, who are out there educating their neighbors, their loved ones, their families. This is where the true power lies in our movement, is everybody out there listening right now doing their little part. And if we all do a little bit, we could do so much more.
And you have been so effective in going after establishment politicians, kings of industry, media personalities, with no fear whatsoever. And it's not just Luke Rudkowski. Luke Rudkowski has literally spawned a global movement where the likes of Peter Powers of Visor Corp is not safe, where the likes of Charlie Rose is not safe, where no one can run and hide from the truth. Bill Clinton, Joe Biden. I could name even more heavy hitters that have been hit up by wearechange.org. And I get so many people who call up and complain. They say, oh, you don't offer any solutions. We're offering solutions. The solution is to get informed and get active. Whether you become a member of your city council, your kid's PTA, whether you don't become a member of anything, whether you become an independent journalist and activist, whether you get out there with a camcorder and ask a tough question of your public officials, whether you post that to the internet, whether you can hold a rally. There are literally an infinite number of things each individual out there can do to change the world for the better, Luke.
Exactly, and the solution, everybody comes to us about the solution, but the solution is you listening right now, sitting at home, understanding the true power we have in ourselves to do anything. I mean, I was just a regular guy. You were just a regular guy. We went through high school, we went through college, we worked, you worked at a pizzeria, I worked in Subways, we had regular lives, and then this changed our life, and we have so much love and compassion for everybody that we just wanted to share it with everybody. Of course, we're not perfect, but the solution, again, is everybody out there taking charge and responsibility for themselves. And I think that's where really the change is going to happen, is when individuals start acting instead of reacting to what's going on in this world. And, and again, I just want to commend you because, we've been in this since, like 7-8 years now, and slowly it's growing, and soon, we won't just be unstoppable.
Well, as I told you after the release of Final Cut, really, I wanted Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined to be my next project. I wasn't able to do that until after I put out Fabled Enemies, which I'm very proud of as well, because that blew the lid off the international intelligence community ties to 9/11. But this is something I've been researching for years. It's very close to my heart, and I really feel I did a good job, and it warms my heart to hear people say, hey, you knocked it out of the park on this one. This one's fabulous. On the other side, we're going to talk to Luke about his Colbert experience this last Friday. Back after this is the Info Warrior. We are back. It's the Info Warrior with Jason Bermas, and we are joined by one of my favorite and most remarkable activists out there, most effective activists out there, so much so that you've now been put in the crosshairs of the Southern Poverty Law Center. Let's talk about that a little, Luke.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, the Southern Poverty Law Center actually called me and interviewed me for this specific report. And for 2 hours, I talked to the Southern Poverty Law Center, and I videotaped the whole conversation between me and them. And I had to go through like 2 DV tapes. But I just talked about everything we do. I had nothing to hide. And it was kind of weird because they actually called my parents. And I was like, how the hell did you get my parents' number? And they're like, yeah, we'll get back to you on that. They never did. But
well, I'm sure it's in your FBI file, like, Luke. I'm sure your parents' phone number is in your FBI file.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me as well. but, you know, I talked to them about the principles of Gandhi and Martin Luther King and all the great community service work we've been doing here in New York City, feeding the homeless, clothing the veterans who need clothes, doing toy drives for underprivileged kids, helping out 9/11 first responders. We detailed that in great lengths, and they don't mention any of that in their official report, of course, because they're trying to slander us. They take one of my quotes out of context to make me seem like a radical, and they mention, my Bloomberg arrest, where I was set up and falsely arrested by Mayor Bloomberg for asking him questions, demanding him to help out the 9/11 first responders. So this is just a desperate attempt by the Southern Poverty Law Center to kind of point anybody who's out there, fighting for freedom of speech, fighting for what they believe in, as, they're trying to make it radical. It's not radical. This is what this country has been founded on. So it's just a basic, crappy...
No, the Constitution and Bill of Rights are now radical. If you believe in personal freedom and individualism, in humanity in general, that we are all born with inherent God-given rights and the state does not give those rights to us, you're a radical, Luke. I want to get into this Colbert confrontation and really how awesome it was that he mentioned the Bilderberg Group on national television after you talked to him. But before we play a little subsection of that video, why don't you go over some of Luke Rudkowski's greatest hits? I mean, you've gotten Brzezinski, Biden. I could go on, but I'm going to allow you to.
I mean, we have so much more coming up in our new film, all never-before-seen stuff that we've been working on for 2 years. And I got to say, one of my best confrontations has to be with Lord Rothschild. Lord Jacob Rothschild was one of the best confrontations. Being able to tell off one of the most powerful people in the world, it was just an amazing feeling. And, of course, he denied his family starting the private Federal Reserve. He denied attending the Bilderberg meeting. And then I just came up to him and I said, look, you could deny all your family's criminals past, but we know, and the people are waking up to this country, and your New World Order has no validity, and the people are going to wake up and support national sovereignty. And he turned around, and he was just looking at me, staring for like 15 seconds without saying a single word, and then he just ran to his car. And there's so many more confrontations that we have with Ted Turner, with Giuliani, with Bloomberg, with John Kerry.
And let's stop that Ted Turner one for a second, because I actually refer, and I wasn't able to put it in because of time constraints, but We Are Change, I think it was Colorado, but I may be wrong, but We Are Change confronted Ted Turner about his quote that he believed that the earth should only have about 350 million people on it. We've played it on this show before. And he goes, no, that's not me. 350 million isn't good old Ted Turner. I go by the United Nations numbers. We should have 2 to 3 billion on the planet. And I rightly point out in my film that if we only had 2 billion people on the planet, that means 2 out of every 3 of us, Luke, need a bullet in the head.
Exactly. And meanwhile, he has 4 kids, and he has the largest land mass. He owns the largest land mass in America.
No, in the world. He owns more property than any other landowner in the world by acreage. And I almost put him on a Bloomberg interview speaking about that very thing. The interviewer said that to him, and he's like, well, that is true, but I'm pretty tapped out. I don't know if I can buy anymore. Like, he's a really good person, and he's out to save us all. It's all under the guise of saving us. He's the guy that brought us Captain Planet, after all, Luke.
Yeah, the so-called superheroes, but there's nothing super about them except their eugenics and plan for all of us. And, this all needs to be exposed. I mean, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds started the modern eugenics movement, and they're still going ahead with it. The eugenics movement is still alive, very much well, in today's world, and we have to fight it for our humanity, for our dignity, and for our lives, period. And it's sad that we have to, do this in life, but this is a great battle that we, are fighting right now, and we have to stand up for everybody, for all of human life, and I think that's exactly what you documented in your film perfectly, that these people don't give a damn about anybody but themselves. These elites, they are here to ruin this country and make it into a third world despotism, and we are here to make sure that freedom, sovereignty, and liberty will prevail. And I think, and I know actually, we will be successful in our fight. And just based off the confrontations that we did, I mean, it is such an incredible feeling to show the world these people who are supposedly so powerful and so strong, just cowering, running away. We had Ted Turner running away from us. He snapped at me first because I asked him, how can you believe in population reduction when you have 4 kids and own the largest landmass in the world? And he just snapped at me. He just was like, that was before 17, and he mumbled. Security had to hold him back, and then we kept chasing him down, and we kept chasing him down, and